Hey there, we are back with another 9x live workshop that we are sharing on the channel, Build an Employee Directory with Softr. We run 9x live workshops every week for a community of students. Some are paid, others are free, like this one that we're going to share. In this workshop, I had the pleasure to be joined with Jessie from Stacked and JJ Englert from Softr. And together, in a bit less than 1 hour, we managed to build an employee directory on top of Notion using Softr. There is currently a lot of talk around AI platforms such as Replit, Cursor, or Lovable that let you build apps from scratch just by prompting. And while these platforms are very interesting, we think that if you want to build applications and you have no coding experience, Softr is probably the first platform you may want to look at. And to make things even easier, not only you have this video, we've also published on our website the step-by-step tutorial if you want to build an employee directory on top of Notion using Softr. And with that, I leave you to the workshop. Enjoy. All right, everyone. So welcome to this 9x live session, this third workshop of the year. Today, we're going to learn in just 60 minutes, or a little bit less than that. We're going to learn how to build an employee directory with Softr. And for this session, I will be joined with Jessie Softr from Stacked, who's building community around HR, people and HR professionals. Is also based in Berlin, like 9x. And so she'll bring maybe a little bit of perspective on the topic. And also JJ Englert from Softr, who's been prior to Softr has been building very, very advanced apps in Bubble, a bit more complicated than and advanced than Softr, and now is leading the community efforts of Softr. I want this session to be interactive. We're not going to build a beast in 1 hour. I really want to nail the first steps. We're taking an employee directory as an example here, but this is basically the blueprint for any app with Softr, like the first steps. And I want to show you, I want to try to convey in this session how easy, how intuitive it is to go from idea to an app with users that can log in inside Softr. And we have Kayo as well, so it's like the No Code Avengers reunion today. Hi, Kayo. All right, so let's get started. Just 60 seconds of advertisement, who we are. So we're 9x. We are based in Berlin. What we offer is AI and automation training for business teams. We used to be a no-code agency. We always had training on the side. And we're on a mission now to deliver to you AI and automation skills on a silver platter. We believe business people should get onto those technologies, learn not only how to prompt or how does ChatGPT work, but also go a little bit further and learn automation. Yeah, we work primarily with companies. We do workshops, custom cohort programs. We have courses online. Yeah, all the good stuff. And we do workshops like these, so 9x live workshops on a regular basis, nearly every week. Some being yeah, free like this one, and some sometimes reserved to our community. So at the agenda today, we're going to have just a brief introduction. We're going to talk employee directory with an expert who has definitely more sophisticated and advanced opinion on the topic. So Jessie. And then we're going to do a live build. I don't know how far we're going to go in the hour, but we have a little checklist on first things that we need to do when we build a Softr app. And I really want to bring you from 0 to 1 there. And then eventually, if we have some extra time at the end, we'll see how we can build interesting features on top of our employee or team data. So first of all, our guest, Jessie. Jessie is the founder of Stacked. Welcome, Jessie.
Hey Alex, thanks for having me. And hi everyone. So you're probably wondering what is Stacked. So firstly, just a quick what is that I do? We have a HR tech database, so a comprehensive, unbiased, very simple to navigate database. We can find all the different HR tech, AI kind of agents that are coming up on the market. So you can discover this crazy marketplace that's out there. So, oh, Alex has it up on screen. That's very kind.
Of course,
We
sure.
really make it easy. So if you just type AI in the search at the top, Alex, if you could, you will see that anything that is tagged or has AI in it
It's
will
so
come up,
fast. Oh my
right?
God.
It's very responsive. And then you can, AI and engagement. So anything with engagement in AI or employ whatever it is that you want, you can easy like doesn't have directory. That's one thing we don't
Oh
have.
my God. It's product market fit for the workshop. There's no directory app.
We got to put one in there. No, we got to create one to put one in there. It
Yeah.
means that no one has that tag on there or written. No,
Yeah.
that's interesting. No company in the database has used directory in their description of their company. That's very interesting because it is something that's in most of the core HR tools. That's an interesting find. Anyway, there's lots of filters you can search, etc., on it, and you can find things that match your business. And we also have the community on the other side. We have lots of free resources, business case templates, etc. You can, scroll and have a look at what companies' products look like, etc. This one doesn't have too many, you know, everyone has different amounts
That's
of
pretty good
data
already.
on them, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so basically that's what I do. And I love tech. I love looking at how we can automate in HR. I love looking at how we can make things easier, more accessible. And that's why I love what Alex does because he's taught me all I need to know about AI automation. Really, everything I do, I'm like, Alex, give me some input here. And he's great. And him and his team are great. So we're in good hands. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we actually build today. So hopefully everyone enjoys this session and we can then make sure we ask questions too. So feel free to like jump in at any point because I definitely probably will jump in and ask questions as he's building.
Super. Awesome. I'll share again my screen. A couple more slides, but really what we want to do is get into the build. So why build an employee directory? We had a quick chat earlier this week, Jessie, on the topic. Took some points from you. So the main point is that all these apps may not be labeled as employee directories, but if it's a people or HR tool, people are the main object or the main the focus the focal center of these tools very often, whether it's like recruiting tools or employee management software or HRM. So why would you build one separately? And I know that from our conversation that for some companies, especially when you're in the early stage, it'd be cheaper than buying. That SaaS have some expensive minimum, and so by building one on software, if you want one early on and as an early stage company, it might make sense to give a shot at software. Second, it's customizable. We're going to see that hopefully in the session. I would really want to convey that with software, you can build a team directory of your dreams, the one that it's exactly in the brand of your company with the features that you want. You have full control. The only thing is you need to learn to build, but fortunately, JJ will agree with me there. Software is the easiest platform to build on top of. And finally, there's no vendor lock-in. You own your data, your infrastructure. You're free to do sort of like what you do with your data here. And here in this example today, I'm going to use Notion as the database. Anything to add here, Jesse, on those points? Like, are there some size of companies where it doesn't make too much sense anymore to build an employee directory or?
Yeah, I think when you get too large, it doesn't make sense to use it as your core. So I think when you're a small business and you want to save money, it's a great place to start because why not? Why would you like there's a very expensive minimum sometimes for these systems and you don't need all the features. You need a place to just keep things neat and tidy and know who's in the business, right? When you get bigger, then it can be complex. But I
Mhm.
still think there's a space for these in like team onboarding or utilizing them to customize, an experience where, that maybe the HR team doesn't have the space even, or the HR team want to enable, you know, with business partners, different parts of the business for onboarding purposes. These directories and kind of org chart type of things can be very helpful. You can do a lot with this kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see what you can build. But definitely as you get bigger, there's a point at which it wouldn't make sense anymore, but could be used for in a
Mhm.
different way. So
Yeah,
yeah.
got it. There's a use case also potentially of So making employee data available, like team directory available to externals, in which case an external doesn't have access to the to your HRM, and you want to give them a way to see who's working in the team or when you're working with partners. And then Softr would be a great it's a great option there because you can select what you show. You can still have users behind login, so you can control who from that external stakeholder is going to have access to that. Great, super. So then we want to build an employee directory. Danex is still relatively small, so we're not getting Personio or iBob anytime soon. And we've built one recently on top of our Notion workspace. I want to go through the first steps today. So, live build. We have a tutorial page I will drop in the at the end of the session, or I can drop now, where there's really all the steps that we used are detailed for like a complete boilerplate of employee directory. Let me drop it in the chat. And we're going to follow the first steps. And what's interesting with so here's the link. What's interesting with Softr is that you can build in whichever order you want. But with Softr, for me, there's a series of steps that you should follow at the very beginning that are going to take you from idea to an app with potentially users behind that can have like their own account, login, logout, and so on. And these steps I want to go through are the following. We're going to first create a Notion database, or you need to create your database. Your data is going to live somewhere. Airtable is probably the most famous integration, but Softr integrates with Notion as well and is adding more sources, and I think that's a big strength as well. Next is connecting our Softr to our database, in this case Notion. Configure what we call like user authentication or the user logic, which sounds all very complicated, that I had to do with code in past projects. And then the day I discovered Softr, I just realized this is how it should work for business users. It's just very simple menus to follow, and then it all works beautifully. And then once you are at this stage, once you have your first 3 steps out of the way, you really are, this is where things are more open-ended, and you can build features and interfaces. So step 1, let's create our Notion database. So for those of you who are not familiar with Notion, or you're probably familiar with Notion pages, at least seen one or maybe already written one. But one of the powers of Notion is that it's not just a text editor or a page editor, is that the documentation that you're creating in Notion can also be stored in structured tables. And so when you open a new page in Notion, you have the option to say, okay, I'm going to store my people, but you can start with a table. And if we do that, we're creating a particular type of page. We're going to create a database. There's many different databases that we have in our Notion workspace. I'm just going to give you an example here. So we don't have anymore a page with different Notion blocks, but instead we have a list. Right now it's empty and it has only one property, the name. We can add different properties inside this table. So you have like the employee name, for instance. We have the employee email. So here, there's a type email in Notion where I can store this information. We can already add one employee for the sake of example. So let's say I'll add Angelo from our team. Really good. That's his email. And you can define properties, table properties. And the thing that you should know about databases is that each table here is supposed to store a particular type of record. So all the properties that you should create in this step when you create your table of employees are people properties. So people have a name. People in your organization have an email. They might have as well a job title. I know this is some companies are going against that, or like flat hierarchies, but it still helps to have job titles, I think. So project manager. Um, and you can go on, and the beauty with Notion is what it looks like a spreadsheet here, you have much more type of data that you can store. And so for instance, you could store the picture. So there's an attachment field, and you can store the picture of any team member. So this field is going to behave a bit differently. I cannot write in it, and I can just store attachments. I'll let you explore at this stage what are the different options there. Whenever I click plus, like these are all the types of data we can store. We can store phone numbers. We can have statuses. We can already move towards more processes once we have things like select fields. The employee maybe is new, onboarded, or onboarding. Then it's active, and then it's I don't know, what would be good statuses, Jessie, there for like employee life cycle? Very short.
Or maybe garden
Offboarded.
leave, off-boarded garden leave.
Offboarded.
Like there's a
Yeah.
couple. Yeah.
And that's one of first advantage of playing with these tools is maybe in some of the software where you manage your people, you're restricted to a certain way of viewing the process, and here you can really choose your own adventure. Yeah. So
And
that's step
Alex,
one. Yeah.
is there a question? Why is it that you would use Notion over like Excel or something like that? Is it because it has this ability to have different types of properties and these like more
Yes.
advanced?
So the tougher question would be why would you use Notion over Airtable? Because both
Mm-hmm.
store data in database. Uh, Notion over Excel or Google Sheets is already a bit easier because in Google Sheets, while it looks similar, Google Sheets is not really well suited for structured data. There are rules in a database, and one of them is when I define a field, let's say we want to add a birth date, even though that's not really, yeah. No, it's interesting. Like you actually need that because you want to wish wish happy birthday. So you have one use case is once a year. You want to make sure you don't miss their birthday. Yeah. So what happens if you store that information inside a spreadsheet? You name your column birth date, and then you're able to write dates in it, but you're also able to paste other data. That's because the unit inside a spreadsheet is the cell. And so you will do some type of formatting. You can get there, but in a database, when the unit is a row, which is also called a record. So here, when I add a plus, I'm created a new employee. I'm just missing the data, but I'm creating a new employee. And in certain fields, and especially so in the picture fields, I will only be able to store attachments, pictures. In the birth date field, I will only see how the UI is changing, be able to store dates, and so on and so forth. So that ensures the integrity of your data. And it follows that also whenever you're going to build applications, like under the hood, what Softr needs to display information about employees and so on, Softr needs records. And while it does connect to Google Sheets, and it can use that, the problem that might happen with Softr, if you connect it to Google Sheets, Softr is just reading the information. If you start messing up the data inside your Google Sheets, it will be displayed on the front end by Softr. While if you have under the hood a database, such as Notion or Airtable, you are ensuring more data integrity, and that's usually something that's one of the big fights we have whenever we support companies. I want to be the last thing a spreadsheet sees before it dies, because we want to replace anything that is a spreadsheet with a process that supports a process would be better off inside a, no-code platforms or a database rather than in a spreadsheet. So we're not going to fill the information there. We want to jump right into Softr. this is what it could look like. This is what we filled for ourselves when we build this little demo of a directory. So you can see a bit more information. We have a single multi-select for languages. We had our photos, email address, and so on. And you can go on. You can really customize that at will. Once you have that, you are good to go and can move on to connecting Softr to your database. So let's head to Softr. So when you open Softr, for the first time, you're probably not going to see all of these. These are separate applications that we've built, all your projects or tests. And so the project inside Softr, every project is in an app. You have your apps here. And to create one, you're going to simply select one of these options. We're going to start from scratch because I really want you to understand the mechanics, the underlying mechanics. But Softr also has a way now to generate an app, the first boilerplate of an app with AI. So if your prompting skills are pretty are on point, you might also give a shot at generating that. And additionally, when it comes to directories, I believe in the templates. So not my templates, but in the community. If you look for directory, you have also a couple of usual suspects. So you have in company intranet and employee directory, maybe are different sides of the same coin. This one more focusing on people, and this one more focusing on different objects, but still having people. So you have a number of options or inspirations you can also look up in the community. But let's start from scratch because we're about building. So we are going to create a Notion, a Softr app, and we're going to connect it to Notion. And so you see the first thing that Softr is asking us is what data you want to use in this app. We can see this Google Sheets, so I'm not forbidding you to use Google Sheets. But you can see also that Notion Softr is telling you, do you want Airtable or Notion first? And that's because I think the mostly used integration is Airtable. Notion is more recent, but because it makes more sense and your app under the hood will be more robust. So I'm going to select this. And important in the next steps, give Softr access to view, create, and edit the selected Notion database. So I'm going to continue. And here, in my case, I have already enabled the connection. But if you are going to do it for the first time, you will have, when you have to enable a Slack bot or a Slack application, you need to authenticate. You will have a screen to confirm the access. And in this screen, you will need to specify what kind of access you want to give. And when it comes to Notion, your Notion workspace can start to look a bit like ours with, if I give you an idea of what we have there, it's team spaces. This is how we organize it. We have those databases that I mentioned. We've created over time many of them, where we store different information. And so when you are going to be on this window, Softr by default is not really interested in having access to everything. And what you need to do is to point to the right database. Now, we will see in the next screens in Softr that when I want to get data from Notion and populate those elements we have here, there will be some things that I can select from. And those are the tables that I will have given Softr access to. But first of all, where did we land? So this is the editor of Softr. Relatively simple. You have first, yeah, there's no question. Okay, very good. So the main section, Softr is really here to build mainly the front end to your database. Not only, you will see like this, there's more functionality, but the main thing you're going to build for your applications are the different pages. When you create a project from scratch, you will have a set of pages that are suggested. And one thing you can already see the whole logic for signing up, signing in, resetting your password, forgetting your password, the user profile, these are all pages that Softr generates for us. And it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense because if you have an app with users, you're going to want these. And there's no point in rebuilding everything from scratch. Now, what Softr does also is offering additional pages. So you have a home page, and to select a page and to view what's on the page right now, I just need to select. So here I'm viewing a different page. Okay. And on each page, I am able to customize. So this is where I navigate, and I'm able to customize any of the elements I see on screen here by clicking on them. So right now, if I select this block of content, then the menu on the right changes. And this is where you can configure any of those modules. And that's pretty much Softr in 90 seconds. You will have other things to do and explore, but the basic level, you go through those different pages. In each page, you have a page is a series of blocks. We're going to see how to add some. I'm going to delete a few first. And each block, depending on the block that you're going to play with, you are going to have certain customization options. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete. I'm going to start from almost from scratch. So the home page is where we're going to have our employees. I'm going to delete the other pages right now. Okay. The form right now. And we're going to start from scratch. Okay. So we've connected Softr to Notion. We've said actually, like, I want you to look into Notion, but we haven't really brought the data to our front end. We haven't brought, go to people, oh, this was below. I want to bring this data to this page right here. So how do we do that? By adding blocks, and Softr has two types of blocks. It has dynamic and it has static blocks. A static block will not be able to pull data from the database. The static block is maybe, Jessie, what you use for your website. It's going to be a static block of content that I'm then able to configure. So we already have too many of these nav bars. But if, for instance, we have a hero for your website, you can just select the block, view it, and then in the settings here, we can customize. So the best employee directory in the market. Yeah. Are these the blocks that you use, Jessie, or did you add also some dynamic blocks?
No, I used those ones. Like at the hero and then a couple, it was all static. To be honest,
Okay.
I didn't connect it to anything.
And that's it's already like there's the whole family of use cases where you may just need that. If you need a simple page to explain what you are about, what are your services, and so on. Like this is there's a whole array of things you can do already with static blocks. That's amazing. And but you have a lot of other website builders that are also doing that. What really sets Softr apart is what I'm going to show you now, and that they call dynamic blocks. So dynamic block is like an empty shell that's waiting to receive data from a database. If you remember, already connected our database in the previous step. And for an employee directory, for like viewing everyone, I think so we can select different types of blocks. These are the new ones that they redesigned. They look gorgeous on top of it. And I'm going to select the grid block. And here, if you pay attention, the first step for a dynamic block is there's always going to be a source. Because a dynamic block is just the shell, and you need to give it the content. And here, the source, what you see here, those options here, are the Notion tables that we gave access to a while ago when we were configuring this. So we have a table tools inside our Notion workspace, which I need to clean up, by the way. But yeah, fair amount. Those are just the recently added. we have a table for personality type. We thought would be a fun thing to add this to a directory, like an example of something that you would not necessarily find always in an employee directory, but we were like, okay, we want to know everyone's personality type. Let's store this in a different database with the description of each, and let's see who is what. And we have some other things. So tools, people that I already showed, and documentation. These are the tables that my connection gives me access to. And to bring the data from one table to there in Softr, I just need a connection and I just need to specify the database, which means by doing that, we are already done. It was not so hard, huh? And that's, for me, the big power of Softr, is how easy it is to go from internal data to app that you can publish. And by the way, we're going to publish this. I need to do one extra thing because now by default this is hidden. So I will get to that in a second. But I think if I do this and now paste that in the chat, you can pretty please go in my app. We just published this on the web from Notion internal data to public app. So of course, it's not great for an employee directory, and we're going to move very quick to the next step, which is I need to give access only to people behind login. But for a second, how easy was that to build this this first page and bring that data and publish it online? This is really one of the big strengths of Softr, is making that as easy as sending an email, almost. Yeah. Couple of things on this page. So right now it's read only, like we can't do much, and there's a lot of things that are not working, like if I want to add a record. I still need some configuration to do, but thankfully you will see that also these other steps are not so difficult. The menus are quite intuitive by themselves. All right. So, are there any questions in the chat? Anything you want me to re-explain, or are we good? All good? All right. So then let's put back our data under login. So let's bring this only for internal users, because right now our employee directory is a bit too public. So how do we do that? And this step in most other tools is nightmarish, because there is so much to think about. You need to, if you want to bring user and allow them to log in, log out, you need to think about the sign up process, the sign in process, the password resetting process, and I'm probably forgetting a couple more. Maybe JJ, if you have some in mind that I'm missing, you need to think about a lot of things the moment you want to go from just a simple page to, okay, I have users that now can interact in my app. You need to think about what they're going to see in the app, what they can do in the app. I shouldn't be able to edit Angelo's profile and so on. So it's usually very, very complex, tedious, and so on. And this is the second wow effect with Softr, is that they made that as easy and as intuitive as it can possibly be to configure. So back to Softr. We will configure further like the pages if we have some extra time, but I want to show you how to bring users to a user logic to your app. So we head to users, and here we can, first, this app doesn't have users yet, and I have the option to sync with an external user list to create advanced permissions. So I'm going to select sync to data source. And here, once again, it's telling me, hey, maybe, so I think it is possible to combine different data sources. So you could have your users in Google Sheets, your data in Notion, and combine this. we will see that here it makes a ton of sense in an employee directory, in a team directory, that the users are in the same table as the one I have in Notion, because then they will be able to edit their own data. And so I'm using the same connection and I'm pointing to the people table. There I have a couple of options. We have one field to identify users with. So you will need to have that inside your Notion database. If you don't have it here, right there, then we should add it, because that now is going to be used as the email for people to log in. So I'm going to map it. The options that you see here are the fields that we have there. We're going to paste this here. Additionally, we can provide some extra information. So we have a field for the name, and just search for it. And the avatar, we can also have our own photo. I think we had this here. Yeah, so we're already going to bring this to the UI, which is really cool. Additionally, we have some managed fields, so created time, lasting time. Magic link is one way to log in that Softr has created. That's pretty good. I would recommend whenever you are creating users, whether it's Airtable or Notion, that you're going to store them in, to always create a little field magic link, because this magic link, when clicked, just logs you in as the user. And that's a great way, especially when you're building the application at the beginning. How will we log in? How will people log in? For the authentication method, this is called authentication, I will select magic link because I pasted the field. And we save and sync. And we are done. Now we should be done. So it is syncing right now. Maybe it's my internet connection. And there we go. So now let's do a quick change in the interface and I will show you the difference. So right now, if you go on the website, if you still go on this URL, you will see this data. To make it private, to make it our own internal data, it's our team directory, I will just need to play with the visibility settings of the page. And here we already have those settings. You may wonder, why do we have two nav bars on top? By default, what Softr does, everything's built for you, so very easy. You have one for logged in users and you have one for non-logged in users. And it makes sense. The one for non-logged in users that you see now, it allows me to sign in. The one for logged in users, I'm already signed in, so it should display my avatar picture. So there, what we're going to do, for that block here, we don't have any visibility defined. And what we can do is head to visibility. So grab the block. This is usually the setting at the most right. Who can see this block? And we're going to toggle this to logged in users. We publish. Now, if we head back here, it's going to be a bit less entertaining. Now this data is only available to logged in users. And if I head back to my database in Notion, I may have somewhere here. Which one am I? I'm right here. I click on this link. I should have made it a link. I am now logged in. So this is me in the app we just built, accessing the data, while you are not able to access the data anymore. So it takes a bit of time to load. It's really my connection. And one more thing, some of you might wonder, why is the navbar like this? This is a setting that we can change. So we can grab the navbar right here. And I believe it is right at the bottom. And I can just toggle this and publish. There we go. We have an we are behind login now. Data is secure. And that means that we have now an app with 6 users. Each have their individual account. Are there any questions on this step? All good? No? All good? Okay. Super. So then we are already here. So there's a couple of more things to configure. While I'm able to log in here, there's still a couple of questions of decisions you need to make regarding your users. So I will list them. So right now I can go to a page to sign up. But that page, so this button is going to point me there. Right now, that page, I'm not sure I'm able to sign up by default with the software app. So, or maybe it's not some time to load, or I'm already logged in. Sorry. If I sign out and I do sign up, yeah. So the question is whether you want that. Here, what this means, now we need to test if the flow works, but like what this means is someone with this URL is able to sign up, which means if they complete the process and go all the way down, you will get a new user down here. For some applications, makes a ton of sense. For an employee or for a team directory, probably not. And so that's where now it's a question more of your requirements and what do you want to do with the app. But if in our case we don't want external users to sign up, and we want to provision users in a different way, like for instance, the only way we are going to allow that is maybe directly from the database. We'll say whenever somebody new joins, we'll create an entry there. That could be a way. Then we would need to remove the sign up process. And how do we do that? Well, the easiest would be to get rid of what has been there, so create it here. So remove the sign up page. Go here with this button that's pointing to a page we just deleted and deleting it. That's, of course, there are some features in Softr that take a bit more time, a bit more thinking, a bit more iteration to get there. But sometimes in Softr, that's all you need to go from idea to feature is to toggle a few buttons, make some changes in the database and or the UI, press publish, and you are live. So right now, we have an app where people cannot sign up anymore, and we're in control of that. Now, what about allowing us to view more detailed information about each of our team members? So for that, we don't have a page for that right now. So we can create a new one. And we'll say person. And here in the dynamic, so here you have list views, but here you have as well item details. If you think about the way things are displayed inside Notion, you have a list, and here you have item details, where we didn't put much information there. Yeah. So in a similar way, I have my lists right here in the home page, and I want to see a person details. So that's going to be in this case a separate page, and we're going to select item details. Then we have to specify which type of records. So this is a whole interface to view one record. And so all you need to do is to select again the database. And again, we're done. I mean, we're done. There's a bit of configuration. There's a bit of arranging the data. How do you want this page to look like? Do you want to add some more functionality? But that is pretty much all you need to create this detail page. And then we can configure it. We can add, configure the content, what is displayed here, configure some actions. Do I want to allow people to edit me or only if I am the user? Like this, there's more functionality to our rules to be determined. But just like that, we managed to create this detail page. And the last thing we need to do is to link them together. And so for this, to go from list to detail view, we're going to go in the configuration here, and we can head down. So maybe it's in the actions. So when I click item on click right now, when I click on one of these cards, nothing happens. What I can do now is open details page. And Softr is, oh, there's no detail page for this. So I don't know, did it change in the UI? I will just see what we can do. Okay, I will create it from here. I'm not sure, JJ, whether this one didn't work, but
Does it have a details block on it?
yeah, so I created the page, person details, yeah,
Yeah.
and
And that's
I
got the
couldn't grab
people.
it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I was able to recreate it very quickly, so we did the same. And I think there's also that, like, the main message I have here is it's so easy to build that, and there's so different ways to get to what you want that it doesn't really matter. It's pretty intuitive. The path was here, like to just grab like from the action, I was able to define the page. And so the picture is missing in this case, so and it's not exactly the same, but then I wouldn't change the content that's in there. So I think it is. I need to see. So that's for the top section. Layout, name, section 1. Where is my photo? So photo can be removed. Where did I put my? Is it this one? Yeah, that's this one. Ah, exactly. I grab my photo and we're back. Yeah, so there's a little bit of tinkering. I don't build on software every day. I have a bit more experience than if you're completely starting from scratch. But you know, sometimes also the menus change. But you see, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's very intuitive and easy to. You'll find your way, and you'll be able to customize the layouts the way you want. We have 10 more minutes. I have a couple more things to show, but I stop here for a second. And if there are questions. If we have available external people, clients that I want to give access to the database, is it possible? Yes. So yes, JJ already responded. That is one thing that we were mentioning at the beginning. So let's say your employee directory is in Personio or a major HR system, and then you have externals that want to have access to that. So how do we configure that? I'm not going to show you everything on how to do it, but it is a mix of two things: visibility and groups. So in the tab users, we've created users. We haven't touched that part, which is user groups. By default, Software creates logged in users and non-logged in users. But I can also create custom groups. And custom groups, it can be condition based. So you could imagine having externals also here. Having a field that is type. Yeah, I mean, JJ is family, but it's still external. You know, it doesn't have a 9x address. So edit property, you could have something just to distinguish people from like, has an 9x address, yes or no. Select, boom, and you say internal, external, okay? And, oops, internal, external. Okay. And then, so that's, and the way you need to think about it is, if I want to do something in software, maybe I need to make some changes back in my database. If I need to distinguish users, I probably should introduce a type. And that's all you need. Then here, you would say external. You would say condition base. And there, here, you would add your filtering if, I don't think we have it right now because I need to refresh to get the field I just created. But I would say externals are all the users with the type external. Then, so that's step one. So you segment users between internals and externals. And step two, and that's the only two steps you need, is then to define here the visibility settings and say, this is for logged in users, but you could also, if you have additional groups, you could also say, this is something externals can see, and this is something only internals can do. Does that answer your question? So two users don't need a Notion account, right? Is the same with Airtable then. So on the pricing side, I think we can jump on the opportunity to have JJ explain how it works. But that is historically one of the big strengths also of Softr. We build a lot of solutions on Airtable for internal processes at 9x. Once you start looking at an app that would have hundreds of users, you start looking at a bill that you can't afford. And this is where there's a prime use case for bringing a software on top of an Airtable base, so you could scale more nicely the number of users. By the way, JJ just popped up here.
Yeah, so I think the question was different accounts and pricing. One of the really cool things about Software is you can use multiple different data sources in your app or even on the page. So right now, Alex is showing us a listing from Notion. But if we wanted chart blocks right above that, showing that data from Stripe, we could also do that, right? So we could bring in data sources from whatever you have and connect them to your blocks and bring them to life. Now, furthermore, the question was, does this user need a Notion account? No, they don't. You're just using this data to display it, but they don't need an Airtable account. They don't need a HubSpot account. They don't need any of that to actually get this data. This is the data that you have and you're displaying to your users. They don't even need a software account, right? Like you are creating the application. And if you allow them to sign up, then they become your user and Software is helping you with that. And wherever that data is being synced and saved to, it's a two-way sync, then they will be saved into your database there and you can collect the records there. So this is a really good centralized way to bring your data, whether it's in two or three or just one data source, bring it to life and then give access to specific people to access that data. So another example would be like HubSpot. We have a really big HubSpot integration where you have all the CRM data, maybe for like an insurance agency, but you only want to give that one person access to their data, right? With Softr, you can connect it to HubSpot, which then brings all that data to life. And when that one person logs in with their email, they only see their data that they have access to in their own portal that you created for them using that HubSpot data. So Softr makes it really easy to visualize your business data while keeping it safe and secure, ensuring only the people you want see it.
Super
Yes,
cool.
you can add external data as well. I think TJ was asking, can you add external data? I don't know if that's like data sources outside of the ones we've shown. If that's the case, we do have a REST API where you can bring that data in. You can also call the API. So if you have automations in Zapier or Make or NAN or whatever, you could do that as well. And then, of course, there's a two-way sync. So if you see that add record button, users can go and add information, which is then synced in your database, or they can update information that's synced in your database. And that's all up to you. Like you can choose who sees those buttons or who doesn't. So maybe only Alex gets to see those buttons, whereas me as a general viewer doesn't. So I can't actually update any data. So you fully control this experience as the app builder. We just make it really easy for you to do so.
That's the REST API integration that JJ mentioned. So there are additional APIs, but it can also
Yeah.
yeah.
And this is where ChatGPT comes in. You pull up like what, Stripe, for example, pull up their docs, feed it to ChatGPT and say, hey, I want an endpoint to grab all my customers and all the subscriptions. And then they'll give you those endpoints. You put them in here. And then you can bring all of your Stripe customers into a listing block in Softr to visualize that, right? Same thing for like Shopify stores or anything like that. You can bring that data in here to visualize and work with it in an easier way. I will say for pricing, we are focused primarily on internal tools, client portals, business applications for you and your company. And so I will say that, while we do support plans up to 2,500 users, that's like a business plan. Normally, these tools have like, 5, 10, 25, 100 users because that's like essentially like a 100-person company, right? So it's usually like one employee gets one login and we're priced for that. So we used to be a little bit more open for like external facing sites, external facing directories, but we've recently come in to really focus on internal tools, client portals for your companies, your employees, etc. And we're priced at that way.
Cool, super. Maybe one last thing I wanted to show. Are there other questions around Softr or the use case you've seen?
Maybe one from me, Alex. I
Yeah.
mean, it's really cool to see this. Is there other stuff? I mean, you don't have to show it, but is there stuff that you can also do around org charts and stuff? Because I know that's something that is always
Yeah.
really wanted in these
Yeah.
kind of directories.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to show actually. And the beauty is I didn't have time to test it, so I am
We have that blocked.
figure that out live. But yeah, that is so I pasted
Okay.
what I saw was that right now it's not possible with a Notion integration, so you have
Oh,
to put your
gotcha.
data in Airtable. And the reason you need to do that inside Airtable is for an org chart you need people to be linked to each other in one form of way. So here, if you want to add an org chart inside, and let's create another page to make it clean, org chart, and there's a block. And that's also one way you should approach Softr. Those blocks explore a bit what has been built by the team that you can use and see, okay, org chart, there is an org chart block, amazing. We can bring one inside our directory. And here, so this is where we've seen that not available for Notion. So you could do it in Google Sheets or Airtable. I highly recommend Airtable for this type of stuff. And that's the thing that we didn't have to do at the beginning with Notion, which is determining what should this integration have access to. And I want to grab the data from that org chart. All right. And then what follows is I need to figure out how this works. So we gave access to the org chart, this table here. I have one this base, and that has one table. So let's see. We first need to specify in which table. So we have one table, people. Okay. I think I need to also specify the view. I have one view. So far, so good. And now I'm still not seeing the data. So first intuition will be to go to head to features and see. Okay, so this is, right, if I guess it correctly, this is where we're going to define the relationship between people. And let's see, okay, I have direct reports is what I created. So I'm going to select this one and see what happens. It's not, so it seems to work, but I need to have at least another field to display data. So I'm going to say the name, for instance. It's the other way around. Well, that's okay. Let's say like for this time we take instructions from our team. So I can add some more data. The role. Okay, super. And then here, like the only thing that I'm not sure I get. So I'll see like department. Do we have? We don't have department. So maybe that's where the demo is limited. But just by playing around with the settings there, I should be able to have an org chart for the 6 of us. Yeah, that's pretty much how that would work. And then, of course, this starting point right here, I'm able to style it. I'm able to configure it, adjust the design and so on. So a starting point, but I'm just not sure, JJ, on the why not all records are displayed, but that's a new block for me. Yeah.
Maybe if you previewed it, anyways, yeah, this is just one of 50 blocks we have.
Yeah.
I know it's working. I've seen it work several different times. I'm not sure why this one specifically isn't, but I think it's the relationship of, who belongs under who. And I
Yeah.
think, with the direct reports there and
If you
some
put
others. So
Justine everywhere, I think,
yeah, I think that can get a little tricky.
let's see. Yeah, there you go. So Justine's the boss.
There we go.
It's probably
There
better
it
that way. So you have to explore and
is.
so on, but I think the message here is I didn't know this block. I can just explore the software menus, and there is there's no skill required, but just trying and playing around with the blocks. But they're usually self-explanatory, and with a bit of tinkering, you will get to what you want. And I think that's a good conclusion. Any other questions on what we've seen today?
Claudia had a question here regarding how she builds websites for freelancers in her client portal. Yeah, Claudia, I understand that. Feel free to message me after the fact on LinkedIn and I can see what else we can do. But that use case is just not a popular use case for us, and it doesn't kind of really fit within the pricing model we built anymore. So I understand where you're coming from. Um, I'm not sure where I can help, but message me after the fact and I'll see what I can do.
Awesome. Any questions from the others before we wrap up this session?
Thanks for making it happen, Alex and Jesse. You guys were wonderful. Alex is a really smart guy in many different platforms, so we're super excited to have him teach Softr. We also have a 3-hour client portal course that's totally free in our academy. Step by step, we'll show you how to create your first client portal every step of the way. So you could check out the academy if you're interested in learning more. But thanks for making this happen, guys.
Yeah,
Super
thanks,
cool.
Alex. Very cool. I liked seeing that you can go from like Notion to displaying data so easily. I think it's really interesting for like small HR teams. So if you're in HR and you're like in a small company, I think this is a really good use case. So yeah, very cool for showing. Thanks.
Super cool. Thank you all.